I grew up being told that lions and other predators are made to kill you, but then when you get to study and understand the behavior that they have, especially with trailing, you realize that as a human you are entering their personal space, so you are breaking their bubble, and then obviously they react in that way. Hello, my name is Lesego Mthethwa. I am from Nelspruit and I work for the Endangered Wildlife Trust as a junior field officer under the Carnivore Conservation program.
So that's where the female lion has walked.
I majored in zoology and physiology. So when I finished varsity, there is a guy named Kevin Richardson. He's known as the Lion Whisperer. So I also looked up to him, and I had come across his documentaries on National Geographic. So he was also one of the people that inspired me to pursue a career in lion conservation, because I was so interested in how he could just form a bond with these predators that me growing up were told to kill people and they're just no good. So then, being the Gen Z that I am, I sent him a DM and I was like, basically, I'd like to work for you. I'm a huge fan. I had studied lion behavior for my final year animal behavior project. So I basically said, hey, I did this on lions in Kruger, just you can have a look at it. And then a few days later, they called me and they were like, would like to have you in on an internship. So while I was there, they asked me, they're like, okay, what is your vision and your passion? I was like, well, I'm really into lion conservation and I want to work in human-wildlife conflict, specifically conflict between carnivores and humans. And from there, they asked me, they were like, do you know the EWT? I was like, of course, like who doesn't? And then they referred me to them. After a few months, EWT contacted me and they were like, okay, we have a lion survey coming up and would like to invite you for an internship. So I was super excited, and I started in July on the internship counting lions in the Kruger. Mind you, I've never been camping, don't know how to use a camera. I basically have no fieldwork experience at all, and I basically learned on the job. So they threw me in the deep end, but luckily for them, I know how to swim. The fact that they gave me the opportunity and took me in with no experience, and they just saw the attitude, the determination, the passion that I have, really touched my heart. So I spoke to my boss after the survey. I was like, I really want to gain fieldwork experience because I have none of that. And if you're gonna send me out into the bush by myself, I don't want you to worry about me, and I don't want to go there and act clueless. So he mentioned to me, he was like, okay, do you know EcoTraining? I'm like, of course I know EcoTraining. Who doesn't know EcoTraining? And I've always wanted to come to EcoTraining, but because of situations, obviously my sister is still in school, so my parents were just like, what, EcoTraining isn't an option for us right now. And then he got in contact with EcoTraining and he was like, I have my intern and she wants to gain fieldwork experience, and EcoTraining was the only one that was able to take me at such short notice. So I literally found out 3 days before having to come here that EcoTraining is calling you. So I was super excited. They've really helped me. I've learned a lot. I feel like I just got my results, so I'm a qualified tracker and trailer. So I'm really excited to go back into work and the bush and use those skills to help advance my conservation work. I've always wanted to experience animals on foot, which is quite crazy for some people, but for me it's exciting. So the first encounter I had was with not just one, but 3 white rhinos. So obviously our company also works with saving rhinos, and it was such an amazing experience to just be able to get so up and close with them and just basically be face to face and look at them in the eyes and just notice that actually if you give them the space, you give them the comfortability, then nothing will go wrong. So that is one thing I learned, is that you are actually in their environment, so you need to abide by how they feel and how they react. So knowing to respect them and creating that comfort zone for them, then they will just naturally come towards you, not in an attacking way, but in a more friendly way. So that encounter for me was truly amazing. I couldn't stop smiling because I was like, I'm literally like 5 feet away from a rhino, which was pretty cool. So yeah, it makes me excited to do more trailing.
Lesego, this is your rhino, the one that you were trailing.
I was about to ask you, I was like, is this you?
Yeah, this is your rhino.
We all know the threats that rhinos are facing, and there's been proactive measures being done to make sure they stop the threats from getting worse and just making sure to keep the animals protected. But I think one thing for me that I've realized is that lions are also facing huge threats as well, similar to rhinos, you know, poaching, habitat loss. And I think there's also a big misconception with lions. You know, I grew up being told that lions and other predators are made to kill you, but then when you get to study and understand the behavior that they have, especially with trailing, you realize that as a human you are entering their personal space, so you are breaking their bubble, and then obviously they react in that way. So I think it mainly is to educate people and to make them aware that these animals aren't made to kill humans, but we just put ourselves in a situation where they have to react out of self-defense, and that's the misconception that people have. These animals are really beautiful, and they're all just trying to make a living like us humans, and will do anything to survive, especially if you are an animal and you're losing your habitat and you have nowhere to go. That is like one of the main reasons sometimes they do break out of parks, is because they're losing their home range and they're just trying to find a new home. So I think bridging that gap and that misconception and coming together and just understanding and finding a way on how to live in harmony with lions, where we build a space where they can feel safe and we can feel safe and understand that, okay, this is how I should react when I come across a lion, and this is who I should contact. If you enjoyed this video, and I know you did, please subscribe to EcoTraining's channel and stay tuned for more content.